question on consolidation. This paper was written in September 2024 this year. So let's actually, like I promised, I was saying that we're going to look at a consolidated question. So now use this one for September. So let's do it together and get to understand how to do it faster. Now, as you can see, this is the first question, which is here. The first part A is only asking us, this is the theory part, and then part B is the one that is asking us to prepare a consolidated statement of financial position, just like it is showing here, down here, to prepare consolidated statement of financial position of Zanji Group for the year ended at 1st March 2024. So now, what I'm just going to concentrate much on is to answer a question, the part B question, which is for consolidation, because for theory part is not something that can be challenging, that when we can read our notes and get to answer it. So now, this is, in an exam, you have to be allocating marks, time to each question that you are doing. As you can see, this is showing, just consolidating this question is 35 marks, and this is the 3-hour paper. So we are going to say 1.8 minutes times 35 marks, which is 63 minutes. That means that this paper, for you to answer it, you just have to answer it 1 hour 3 minutes. You are done. You move on to the other question. Now, as you can see, before you do anything else on a consolidated question like this one, what you do is you get to the statement. You come to the statement here. So on this statement, like the way it is here, you're just going to be leaving little spaces. Like the way it is here, you copy it up to the end. So the requirement here is saying, prepare the consolidated statement of financial position of Sun Group for the year ended the 1st March 2024. So what you're going to do here, you write your heading. You say Zanje Group consolidated dated statement of financial position as at, here is not for the year ended, is as at 31 March 2024. So after you've written your heading there, you just copy the way it is here in the statement. You copy everything here, because there are some easy marks that you can obtain from this question. So you come down here, as you can see, just like the way it is, non-current assets, you copy everything here before even doing some adjustments that are down. That is what we are going to do here together. So you come here at non-current assets. Non-current assets, there we've been given property, plant and equipment. So the statement here is showing that it's in thousands, you see now? So that is what we are going to write even there. You say in thousands. So now there's investment here. So this means that maybe there are some other things that we're going to write about the investment. So you don't have just to leave it like that. You come down here. You leave here, you write just one thing, that is goodwill. Goodwill, it's going to be under workings. It's always on workings number 3. And then you leave even 2 lines, since there is investment, also an investment in associate, because we are seeing this. So from this, the first company is always the parent. So the one which is on middle, or the one that at the end, can be an associate or a subsidiary from the two. So here you leave a line for other investments if there's any other investment, and also a line for investment in associate. And then you come to, you just copy the way these are also current. Just say that is current assets. Current assets. So inventories, and then you come to trade receivables, and then cash and cash equivalent, and then the other thing is, you have seen we have ended here. These are just totals. Then you come to equity and liabilities. So you can just leave even 2 lines there. You say equity and liabilities. So like the way it is, equity, share of 1/4 each. You just copy it the way it is, like the way it is showing here. That's the way you write it. And then share premium, and then the other thing is you come to retained earnings. So retained earnings is always under workings. So we assume we are going to do it on workings number 4. So when you have done like that, what should come here is non-controlling interest. Non-controlling interest is also going to be under workings. Let's assume workings number 5, like that. And then we come to non-current liabilities. And then on non-current liabilities, there are just 3 things that are here. There are just 2 things: loan notes, deferred tax. You copy it just the way it is. Loan notes, then deferred tax, and then you leave 1 line. Maybe there could be something that could come here, and then down here you write current liabilities. So on current liabilities, as you can see, there are just two things here: trade payables and trade and other payables, and then current tax payable. Then you just pick it the way it is there. You write it trade and other payables, and then current tax. So current tax. So we are done here. So before we can actually get to do anything else, the first thing that we have to do is to determine whether this one is a subsidiary or this one is a subsidiary. So we have to determine which of the two is a subsidiary and which of the two is an associate before we can actually get our easy marks. So let's get our workings on the second page. So workings. So let me just put a note here. You just put a note to indicate that all workings are in thousands where applicable. So where applicable, then the first workings number one, we are going to do the group structure. So like I said here, I said that the first company is always a parent. So this is Zhang PLC. You bring it here. This is Zhangji PLC. So this is a parent. That is a parent. And then we have the other company here is Wana and Nkusu. Wana and Nkusu. So you put Wana PLC here and also Nkusu. Nkusu PLC. So now let's determine what it is, which one of the two is an associate. So here there's group, this is the controlling interest that we're going to get, and also the controlling interest in this one group. So now here let's get our question. Here you go. As you can see there, it is saying that this is not number one. On April 2023, Zhang acquired 15 million of the ordinary shares capital of Wana for 8 million kwacha and a share exchange of 3 shares in Zhang for every 2 shares acquired in PLC. So only the cash consideration had been recorded by Zhang. On the date of acquisition, the retained earnings of Wana PLC were 17.5 million kwacha, while the market price of Zhang and Wana shares were 4 kwacha and 2.4 respectively. So now what happens here is this. So on the group structure, the only thing that we're interested in is the 15 million, which was acquired by the parent. So the parent acquired 15 million in Wana. So what we're going to do here is you find the number of shares. So that is 15 million that was acquired in Wana. Wana's total capital share capital, you've seen the share equity here of one is on the middle here, it is 25,000. So that is 25,000. Why? The number of shares is going to be 25,000 because here it is 1/4. Because when you're going to say 25,000 divided by 1/4 is still going to give you 25,000. So you always have to remember that if here, for example, if it was given 0.5, you are going to divide it with 25,000 with 0.5 to find the number of shares. So in this case, it was actually straightforward. It's 1/4. So 1/4 into 25,000 is going to give us 25,000. So that is what we're going to bring here, over 25,000 times 100. So let's find our controlling interest there on our calculator when you punch. That is 15,000 divided by 25,000. That is times 100, which is 60%. So the controlling interest is 60%. So this one is already our subsidiary. This is a subsidiary because it's more than 40. And then the non-controlling interest, we're just going to say 100 minus this one, which is going to give us 40%. Then let's find the shares in this. So they are always actually jumbled. So the only thing, you go on note number 4, you look for where Zanji also acquired shares in, if they acquired shares in Nchisu, Nkusu, I mean. Yeah. So in Nkusu, yeah, note number 3. So Zanji PLC also purchased 10 million shares in Nkusu. So you stop right there. You go say that is 10,000 in Kusu, and then just like it is said, you go also on, this is Nkusu. Nkusu is having how many? Nkusu is having how many? When you come on the shares that is having is 0.5 also. So you go there and put 25,000. So times 100. So our controlling interest here is that is 10,000 divided by 25,000, which is going to give us 40%. That is 40%. So we have already actually determined that Nkusu is an associate. And this one is a subsidiary. So after determining this, what we're just going to do now is get our easy marks. This is how we get our easy marks without even stressing. So the easy marks are here. This is plant and equipment. Plant and equipment, you have 88 to 500. So an associate is never consolidated. You have to keep that in mind. So that is, we have 8,500 plus, also we have this one for a subsidiary, 42,500 plus 42,500. You don't total up because there are some other things that can come in. So consolidation is under workings. Then we come to inventories. So the inventories here, which we have, are 16,500 and 15,000. So 16,500 plus 15,000. So you don't also close it up because there are some things that might come. And then we come to trade receivables. As you can see, trade receivables 21 1,500 and 15,000. So 21,500 plus 15,000. And then cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent here. This is 5,500 and 5,000. So to consolidate them like that. So as for this one, I'm pretty sure there might be no adjustments for this one, but let's just leave it open like that. Maybe there's something that might come. So equity, what we just normally pick is that of the parent. So in case there is something that will come, I have seen this at 3 for every 2. So it means that there are some shares that are still coming in. So you just open here, you put that one, you just pick this one for the parent, which is 35,000. And then for premium, also pick this one for the parent, which is 20,000. Okay, you leave it just like that. And then you also come non-controlling interest. This one is under workings, like the way I've just put. So let's come to non-current liabilities, which is loan notes 25 and 12,500. So you just simply pick it up at 25,000 plus 12,500. And then you come also deferred tax. The deferred tax here, I'm pretty sure you can see it. That is 19,500 plus 6,000. That is 19,500 plus 6,000. 6,000. And then you come now to trade and other payables. That is 12,500 and 8,500. Come here, 12,500 plus 8,500. You leave it like that, open. And then current tax, that is 4,500 and then 3,500. 4,500 plus 3,500. So you can, this one you can close or just leave it like that. I don't think there are some other adjustments that can actually come out of it. Okay, so now our easy marks have been obtained there. Our easy marks have been obtained. So let's actually start doing the adjustments. We dealt with the first adjustment, the group structure. Now let's come to the second adjustment, which is the net assets of Wana. Wana is the subsidiary. Wana PLC at acquisition. So here the purpose we are calculating the net assets of Wana at acquisition is for the purpose of computing goodwill. So now it's only for the subsidiary that we are actually working towards getting there. So now the way I do this is my format, and you can still use it. It's profitable. So there is a reporting date, and then you write from the reporting date, you also write this is acquisition date, and also we have the other one is the post or the movement, post acquisition date. So there we have this guy here. You come to share capital, the share capital here, you just pick that one for a subsidiary, which is 25,000. So it is the one that is going to be at the beginning, at the end 25,000, and also at the beginning is going to be the same. Then in the post acquisition or the movement, there is nothing. So retained earnings. Retained earnings at reporting. At reporting, as you can see, the retained earnings at reporting of a subsidiary is 22,000. So that is what we're going to put here, 22,000. And then at acquisition, as you can see here, when you read on the date of acquisition, the retained earnings of Wana were 17,500 kwacha. So that is what we're going to put here, 17,500. So you get the movement here, the difference. When we say 22,000 minus 17,500, which is 4,500. 4,500. Then fair value adjustment. So let's see if there is any fair value adjustment. So this point here, which is saying that at the date of acquisition, the fair value of Wana PLC net assets were equal to the carrying amount, with the exception. So when they are equal, there's no adjustment, but there is an exception that has been made here. So that is what we're going to follow. The non-depreciable land with the carrying amount of 25,000 kwacha, that had a fair value of this, you've seen, 30 million. So there's an increase there from 25,000 to 30 million of 5 million. So land we have, that is, it moved from 25,000 to 30,000. So the movement there at acquisition, it was 5,000. Also at reporting, it was still 5,000. And then the movement there is new. And then also here we are seeing another plant carrying amount of 10 million and a fair value that exceeded the carrying amount by 4 million. So this means that they have already actually calculated for us. So from 10, that is the previous, now it has increased by 4, which means it was 14, but they have already made the difference there. So plant had this one at acquisition, which is 4 million. So since I'm presenting it in thousands, that's how it is going to be. So now we have to depreciate it to find the carrying amount at reporting. So 4 million. And then when you come here, you're finding that the remaining economic useful life at April 2023 was 2 years. So straight line depreciation is used. So 2 years. Then we just have to divide it by what? 2 years to get the depreciation. So that is when you say 4,000 divided by 2 is just giving you 2,000. So when you say 4,000 minus 2,000 is going to give you 2,000 here. 2,000 here. So the depreciation also there is going to be affected. You remove the depreciation there of 2,000. Even when you do the movement here, it's going to give you a negative of that. And then let's look at what came next. So from there, we are this one we've already adjusted for it. Then we come here. So on 1st April 2023, no provision had been recorded by one for its mine, which requires decommissioning in April 2028. So the present value of decommissioning cost is 3 million and will be paid in 5 years' time, which is the end of the mine life. The end of the mine life, okay? Then Wana PLC cost of capital is what? 8%. So let's find the cost of decommissioning. We remove it because this is going to be actually paid at the end of the what? The mine. So they have given us a cost of 3 million. So at start it was 3 million. This is the decommissioning cost. So even for provision for environmental provision, let me just say provision for decommissioning cost, provision for decommissioning. So we have that, which is 3,000 at a cost of what? 8%. So you multiply it by 8%. So when you say 3,000 by 8%, we are getting 240. On my calculators, it's 240. So since it is 240, then it means that it is going to be increasing by 240 each year. Per year, it is going to be increasing by 240. So at reporting, at start it was 3. So it will increase by 240. So at reporting, it was going to be 240 when you add that. So this is removed. We remove it because it's not in the current year. It's going to be done at the final year of this contract. So now, when you get the difference here, there is minus here, minus this figure, minus this figure. It's just going to give you, this is 3 negative of this one plus this one is going to give us a negative of 240. So you remove it there. And then the mine now. The mine was also at this, but it was saying that the mine will be paid in 5 years' time, so we depreciate it. So at the beginning, it was still 3,000. So 3,000. So at the end, so here, 3,000, when we depreciate it by 5 years, it's going to give us how much? That is going to give us a 3,000 divided by 5 years, that is 600. So we are going to say 3,000 minus 6,000, which is just 2,400, which is the carrying amount at this end. And then there, the depreciation is 600. We remove. So now, did we have any other? Actually, these adjustments here are talking about something different. So let's find our asset at start. So you add there 25,000 plus 22,000 plus 5,000 plus 2,000 plus 24 minus 3, 240. I'm getting 353, 160 here. And then at acquisition, when you say 25,000 plus 17,500 plus 5,000 plus 4. Okay, that is 51,500. And then at the post acquisition there, 5,000 minus 2,000 minus, that is 240 minus 6, 4,500 minus 240 minus 600 minus 2,000. which is 60. So we are done here. So when you have actually determined something like this, you don't have to stress. You have calculated this one at the end here. The only thing that was in your land was valued at 5,000. You come and put it here, plus 5,000. Plus here, what else? This one, plant, 2,000, the carrying amount is at 2,000 after depreciation was removed. Then plus, what else? This mine is 2,400. You come and put it here, 2,400. And then you close up. And then let's calculate goodwill, workings number 3. Calculation of goodwill. And then we have, this is, let's do our consideration. Consideration here, the cash here is saying, the cash which we have been given, the cash we have, this is the question is here. This is saying ordinary shares capital 8 million cash and the share exchange. So the cash there which we have already been given is 8 million. So 8 million. So here they are saying that and a share exchange of 3 in ZAN for every 2 shares acquired in 1. So what we're going to do here is just going to say the consideration, share consideration ration. So the amount is 25,000. The share capital of the subsidiary is 25,000. Then by this percentage of the group, we get our share from it, 60% of 3 for every 2. Here, for every 2 shares acquired in 1. So here, after this, they have also given us here, while the market price of ZAN and WANA was 4 and this respectively. So this 4 kwacha is for ZAN. So it's the one that we're going to pick there for. So when you are going to punch there on your calculator, that is going to give us 90,000. So after that, we have to remember the fair value of non-controlling interest, NCI. So the fair value of non-controlling interest here, you come on this question. It is here. So it's a group policy to measure non-controlling interest at fair value at the date of acquisition and one's share price at date can be deemed. So that is what we're going to use here. We're going to say 25,000 is shares. We get our share from it. The non-controlling interest gets its share, and then by the one this price we get it 2.4 kwacha, so that we get our non-controlling interest there. When we say 25,000 by, that is 40% by 2.5. I'm sure we're getting it. 5,000 by that is 40% by 2.4, which is 24,000. And then we remember the net assets at start. That is in the workings number 2. this figure is the one that we're getting, 51,500. We remove them. So when we remove this, what are we getting? Plus 90,000 plus 8,000 minus 51,500. We are getting 7,500. So from 7,500, what else are we going to get here? Let's see if we have impairment. The last note, it is saying, so an impairment test conducted on this revealed that goodwill on acquisition of Warner was impaired by 0.8 million, which is 800. So impairment. Impairment loss of 8. We remove it, 8 million. So minus the impairment of 8, which is going to give us 69,700. So that is it. This is goodwill at start. That is how we can call it. Then this is goodwill at end. So now goodwill has already been computed. So you just simply pick it 69,700 and put it here. 69,700. And then what else are we calculating here? We are going to calculate also two shares. To share capital. Capital is going to increase by 1 kwacha. Multiplying, this is when we are going to say 25,000 of each shares, getting our share from it at a consideration of 3 for every 2. So that is 25,000 by 60% by 3 over 2. That is 22,500. 22,500. Because when you multiply it by 1, it's going to still be the same. So to premium will increase by, since this one has increased by 1 kwacha. So what we are going to do is, we have the question here. You've seen the share price, the market price of Zang, the parent, is 4 kwacha. So that is what we are going to get here. We're just going to say 4 kwacha minus this one here, which is 1 kwacha, multiplied by that one, which is 22,500, which is going to give us, when you say times the 3, going to give us 67,500. 67,500. So that is what the premium is going to be increased by, and this one is going to be increased by. So let's just go there in our equity. Equity is going to be increased by 22,500, like we have calculated. We close it, and then share premium is also going to be increased by 67,500. So now, after that has been done, let's calculate our retained earnings. Retained earnings. Workings number 4. Retained earnings. Retained earnings. So now, what we are going to get is, for the retained earnings here, you come on the retained earnings here. You have seen the retained earnings there. For the parent, we'll just